This episode is brought to you by Hoob. Use the code TalkingTriathlon10 when you check out. Welcome everybody to another episode of Talking Triathlon, a podcast where James Bale, the man on my left, at least when I'm looking, talks to me, Tim Ford, about the sport of triathlon. Jimbo, mate, welcome back. It's another week, it's another show. How you going?
Another week has gone by, mate. I'm all right. I forgot my microphone, so I might be a little tinny. I have to apologize to everybody, but I'm in a new location, as is often the case, and I don't have a microphone with me, but I'm sure we'll make do. But yeah, I'm all right. I had a bit of a deload week last week to get on top of my twingy hip, and I think I've got on top of my twingy hip, so I'm actually quite upbeat at the moment because when something starts hurting and you convince yourself that it's just going to get worse and it's going to ruin everything, and then you have like a proper emotional breakdown about it. But then you actually do the right thing, you deload it, you rehab it, and it starts to get better, and you can't fucking believe it's actually starting to get better. That's where I am now.
I know that it's that sort of like PTSD thing of you've had enough injuries, so you do start to think, the worst one is when you've had an injury. I know that we both had this, remember probably like nearly 10 years ago, to be honest, we both had the same hamstring injury. Mm-hmm. And going through that process where, it took 6 months before anybody could diagnose it, MRIs and blah, 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 get it diagnosed, do the treatment, did the PRP injections, and then it starts to get better. But you're convinced you're still injured. Yeah. And my physio was like, look, I'm telling you, based on all you are not injured. There's still the neural pathways that blah, 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 but you're fine. And you're like, oh no, it hurt. It's not a not a good time.
That hamstring tendinopathy is a strange thing because I still get that twinge sometimes. Like you say, 10 years have gone by and I can be sitting in a car and my hamstring will start twitching like that. And it's just, like you say, it's those neural pathways never disappear. So it's still there, just sometimes just making you worry. But yeah, in this instance, I think I've got a handle on it. I've run twice this week. It's been okay. I've biked twice this week. That's been fine. And I'm just going to keep building back up now. My rehab coach, ChatGPT, is really helping me out.
Mate, I tell you what, the best in the business are being coached by ChatGPT. And you know what? What's better than being coached by ChatGPT is being coached by somebody who uses ChatGPT to coach themselves. What a good idea. What could go wrong? I don't know. I know. Yeah, like I remember basically anytime ever I get any sort of little twinge, I just assume, this is an injury. I'm like, yeah. And it is just because I think we, as athletes, okay, we're not triathletes anymore, but you know how much even, and like, especially when you had an injury that can go on for a long time, you do not want to go through it because I'm sure a lot of people listening have had an injury at some point. It really does impact your mental state a lot as well, right? Because you put so much effort into doing this sport and then you have this thing that just like you cannot do it. It's the worst. So yeah, I think we're all probably a little bit paranoid anytime we get a twinge compared to the people like, I'll just train through it. I'll be fine. Like one thing getting older has given me the confidence in doing is when that twinge happens now, just be like, I'm actually just going to back off for a couple of days. Whereas, when I was younger, and probably why I ended up having bad injuries was you just keep pushing. And
like an idiot, yeah.
I say this to so many athletes now, like even when you get sick, don't rush back. Like, I don't know how many athletes when I write their programs or whatever, and they're like, I have a really bad flu. I'm going to try this session tomorrow. You're like, I just go and just delete a week straight. I'm like, no. There's like, all you will do is delay getting better. And what is a 3-day flu that you might need 5 days to recover, 5 days off, you make it a 2-week battle because you just don't let yourself, because you're so determined to get back. It's like, just recover. Everything's better when you just recover. So
how are you, mate, anyway?
Good here. Yeah, actually going away this weekend, which would be nice. Going to the beach to catch up with some friends. But similarly to you, not a deload because I'm injured or niggled. But yeah, I've been back to train, started the marathon build. Each week I've been adding. It's good. I've sort of got like the 4 or 5 key sessions that I do every week for run, and then I swim and bike still. But I've just been adding a little bit on, like, for example, the hill repeats, I add 2 reps each week. Then the pickups, I add 2 reps each week. And then my long run, it stays the same, but then my Sunday long run, I add a couple of extra Ks. So, I've gone from, I think that I started at about 60K of running a week, and I'm up to about 75 last week. So this week I was quite tired on Monday when I was meant to swim. Didn't want to swim. Not doing triathlon anymore, so I went, fuck it, I'm just going to take an easier day. And then they said this week's been a nice deload week, but I've definitely felt like I need it. Been waking up quite tired. The good thing with this Whoop is it does, track everything. Yeah, it's been screaming out, being like, you need to take it easy for a day. Your strain's been high for 3 weeks straight or something. So the timing worked out well with that. And then it looked just I was pretty high after the weekend, considering I picked the winner in Challenge Wanaka. Always makes me happy to get that one, and Mike coming second was good. But yeah, that's sort of it. My world, nothing major. Just as people can see, my office behind me is full of Lego and Megazords and comics and all the nonsense that I'm in the process of constantly collecting. So yeah,
That's what we want, mate. That's what we like to hear.
I have a room full of Lego and toys and comics.
That's what people log on for.
If people want to get access to that, they head to patreon.com/talking triathlon. We get the inside scoop on all the other stuff besides just triathlon, as well as stuff that's happening in triathlon. We were talking about yesterday in the WhatsApp group about the former failed Vespa triathlon team. And Jimbo, I still have this desire. Maybe we should do like a GoFundMe or something, or if we hit a certain number of patrons, where I'd love to do like a proper serial style podcast where we actually do a deep dive into what happened with the Vespa triathlon team. So if people are listening and don't really remember, this was a pro team where Crow was involved, and they signed athletes like, who'd they have? They had they had Flora Duffy, they had Lucy Charles-Barclay, they had Gustav Eden, Sam Appleton was on there, Sarah Crowley was on there. Like it was a who's who of triathlon. It was like the first tri team to, I guess, rival what Bahrain and Victorious are doing. And about 6 months later, it just sort of, the logos went off kits and nobody spoke about it. And I remember I interviewed, for this podcast years ago now, but I interviewed Gustav Eden and his brother Mikkel. And on the call, Gustav had a logo on his shirt covered. And I was like, oh, what logo is that? And he's like, oh, have you heard about what happened with Vespa? And I got the whole story. So I'd love to do a series where we actually interview. I think enough distance has passed now where probably more of the athletes would be happy to talk about it. But yeah, maybe we do something like that, mate, because it's a fascinating story.
We can replace voices. We can use screens. We can blur people's faces. We can use voice modulators if people really don't want to go on the record.
You know what we should do? And again, I'm sorry, this is an off-air conversation, but deal with it, listeners. There's a podcast series that me and James both absolutely adore, which is called Finding Drago and Finding Desperado. We should
recommend that to people.
Oh, mate, it's actually the best. We should get Alexi and Cam to do Finding Vespa and find out what happened with the Vespa triathlon team. That would be very good, actually. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Jimbo, mate, it is time to talk about triathlon. Where would you like to start this week?
I want to start with Kristian Blummenfelt.
Our boy, Big Blue. Now, I have to ask, mate, was there much fallback on your harsh words saying that you don't ever think he's going to win Hawaii?
He either just internalized that,
He did,
or he doesn't listen anymore. Those are your two options.
Is it a coincidence though that you started to get the hip twinge just after you said it? Like,
yeah,
do you
maybe
think he's got that voodoo doll and he's just like putting the pins into your hip? He is the sort of guy that I can imagine his intensity would be so much that he could actually like mentally project an injury onto somebody. He wouldn't just think about it. He would obsess over like, fuck James Bale. So maybe that is what happened. Maybe that was your ESP from Kristian Blummenfelt because you said he wouldn't win Kona. Yeah. What was happening with Kristian, mate?
Well, he's starting his season with 2 Ironmans, Ironman New Zealand and Ironman Texas. Then he's going to Geelong and Oceanside. So he's got four races in 6 weeks.
Slightly different to how you said it, but yes.
Yeah.
He says New Zealand, Geelong, Oceanside, Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, yeah.
Can you imagine going from New Zealand to Texas to Australia?
Yeah, no, I misread that. But then he has announced that he is going to be racing Challenge Roth. And it'll be the first time he's done it. And he's said, I'm here to win. I know it's going to be a hard-fought battle. It may be the most special race we have in the sport. I've always wanted to complete a challenge Roth, so I can't wait to race. Riding up Solar Hill and running into the finish line stadium is going to be an amazing experience.
Now, yeah, I heard this was I've known about this for a while. But I know that last year when I was in Roth after the race, and to be honest, every year after Roth, I always message Belinda Granger and I'm like, you need to get Kristian Blummenfelt to do this race. I think the year where Magnus went 7:21, I just met as like, get Kristian here, because I imagine those two actually pushing each other. I am so excited about this. Like this, you talk about the impact of having athletes, like pro athletes. I know we discussed Roth a few weeks ago. This is the sort of thing that I'm absolutely pumped for, because I think we're going to see everything going according to plan, no punctures or whatever. I think we'll see a new Ironman world record set at this race, because it is the perfect Kristian Blummenfelt course. It is the perfect Kristian Blummenfelt course.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's going to be racing the clock rather than the rest of the field, because he's going to steamroll everyone else at that race, I think. Like you say, I think it's my words a few weeks ago about how I don't think he'll ever win Kona. That is constrained simply to that race, that environment, that course. This race is very much his bread and butter. It's a European climate. It's a rolling course, and yeah, I think he's going to dominate, and that domination may well reach down into world record category, which would be cool.
I think as well, just looking at, because you're right, it's the swim. He'll have some good. I hope he has some good swim power around him to help with the swim. The bike will suit him really, really well. I think the run suits him because it's a quite isolated run. Like that's what I don't think you realize watching the broadcast, or maybe you do, but that where they go out onto the dam or the water to run, it's fucking isolated, mate, and it's long, and that's the sort of thing I think where a lot of people can probably struggle. I don't think that is an issue for an athlete like Kristian at all. He is so just fucking. I don't think it would matter. I get the impression Kristian's not the sort of athlete that gives a shit if anyone's watching. Like he could go just as hard in front of nobody as he could in front of a million people. Whereas I think a lot of other athletes would get lifted by a crowd. I think it has almost no impact on him because he's so intrinsically motivated. And yeah, God, I'm excited. Plus, I know Roth always do some really big bonuses for like world records, sub 2:30 marathons.
The man will be getting decent payday anyway, I feel, just to be there. But you're right, there will be some bonuses attached to performances and what he can achieve on that course. And I get the impression that it's not the impression really. It's more. I think if Kristian Blummenfelt executes the race that he's capable of at Roth, he could well be putting the world record out of reach for some time.
I definitely agree. I feel like we're going to see something crazy. And what I'd like to discuss then or build on with you is, because they've only started to announce a few athletes, who are the athletes you'd like to see them also have? Because yes, it's great Kristian's there, and everything I said about him being able to do this in isolation is true. But especially after what we sort of happened at 70.3 Worlds with Yellow Gaines and other race waves, Nice, who are the athletes you'd like to see them also bring in to push,
to make a real race of it?
Not just make a real race, but I think force that time even faster.
Yellow Gaines, laid low. I want Ditlev to be there just because he's so anchored to this race. It'd be cool to see how the way he races, if he races his best race here, and way that reflects with the way Kristian races his best race, because they won't be racing it in the same manner. But they've got a similar kind of swim, so they'd be coming out together because Ditlev's raised his game so much in the swim. Yeah, who else? Who else do I want to see there? I think Yellow Gaines and Ditlev would be a good one. Obviously, Gustav would be wherever Kristian goes. There should be a Gustav. What's your take?
I'm not sure about Yellow, just because I don't. Well, first, he's not done Ironman, but
he hasn't. But yeah. I mean, he's not going to be bad at it, is he?
Yeah, he's definitely not. I think Magnus is the must. Like I actually think Roth need to make sure Magnus is there, just because this is how you. promotion wise, if you get, this is the battle for the world record, right? So you get the current world record holder against the challenger. And I think that Magnus's style of racing would actually suit Kristian really well, because you've got one athlete who does their own thing and you've got one athlete who does whatever the fuck everyone else is doing to beat them. And I like this idea that you'd have Magnus and Kristian just like benefits, follows on the bike, whatever, and then gets off and drops it to something marathon to win the thing. Like, I think for Christian's best possible time, you have an athlete like Magnus, or Magnus and Lalo together, because Magnus will just do his thing. Sam will be trying to drop them both, and Kristian will just be sitting back, letting them destroy each other, and then theoretically run through. I think, or you'd see a blow up. So I think those three for me would be the musts. I'm just wondering if there's anybody young, or I liked having Vince there last year. I think I'd like to see him come back without the calf injury. He surprised me. I'd also like to see Henry Schumann have another crack at it, because he also had some injury things, but first out of the water, and again, surprisingly well on the bike considering those ITU background. I'd like to see a couple of those guys. I'd like to see a lot of swim talent with some bike power. Not that those guys necessarily have bike. I guess that's what I want to see. Front load it with the swim bike, and then have a few. Trevor Foley would be a good one as well, although he's going to come from so far behind on the swim, but he could catch up and then challenge. But I don't know if the American likes to leave the US of A too much. So
yeah, Blummenfelt's hoping to have 15,000 points in the Pro Series by the end of April, and then he's going to do Roth, and then have a big build towards the World Championships in Nice and Kona, and that's pretty much his year planned out. You
know what they say, James? A plan's all good and well until you get punched in the face.
Yeah, totally. I mean, look, the man's more than capable of having a really strong start to the season. I expect him to dominate Roth, and then I expect him to go really well in Nice. That finish he had in Marbella was spectacular, and I want to see that kind of thing again. I think he probably will be gunning for the win this time around, and then I don't expect him to fire in Kona. I've made my thoughts known on that.
I'd rather see him. I'd rather see him skip Nice and focus just on Kona. I'd love to see him win Kona this year.
Nice is banging.
Nice is incredible. It's funny. You're like, I don't think you'll win. I don't think you'll win Nice. Like to be honest, I think that's a Yellow Gains race.
Yeah, I mean, we're a bit far out to be making those calls. I know
not.
I'm making the call on Kona, and it's fucking February, but I think I'm gonna say a never Kona athlete. He could win these. Whether or not he's going to will depend on his form and other people's form closer to the time.
Do you know who I really want to actually see do Nice this year is Vincent Louis.
That would be cool. Man's going to retire after this year, isn't he?
Exactly. And again, didn't race the Paris Olympics. You've got a world champs in France. Mate, yeah, we need to see Vincent Louis there. I can neither confirm nor deny, but I may have put a special bonus in one of his contracts to try to get in there, like literally because I want to see him. I did that. I put it because I was like, fuck, I hope he does Nice. So I was drafting his contract. I'm like, and an appearance bonus, qualification, and race bonus if you race the World 70.3 World Champs. Yeah, I'd love to see Vincent Louis there, but yeah, I think Kristian's gonna probably struggle a little bit, like we saw him struggle in Nice last year, even though it was an Ironman, just with some of those 70.3 guys. But I mean, Marbella was hilly, but it wasn't the same sort of hills as Nice, I don't think. And I'm guessing they're going to use the same course that Gustav won in 2019 on as well. So, and he was third that year off the top of my mind. So, yeah, I love Kristian Blummenfelt racing though. So,
and talking about Roth, we also had the announcement that Kat Matthews is going to be making her debut there as well this year.
That is correct. Kat Matthews is also going to be racing Roth.
She said,
yep,
the buzz around Roth is like no other race. I'm really excited to experience all this firsthand. I've always wanted to race Roth. Every athlete does, but what I really want is to win Roth. Records and splits are nice, but crossing the line first is what matters to me. If you see me at the venue, say hello. Meeting people is a huge reason for me to do an event like Roth.
She may regret saying that, considering how many people there
Yeah.
are. It's nuts. It's funny how to contrast. Like again, I think Kat is a great addition to Challenge Roth, but compared to Kristian, where I've just spoken about how I think Kristian can do it, Kristian solo, blah blah blah. Some people there to help him. I think the biggest asset, and I'm really not trying. Please, Kat, whatever. I don't want to be disrespectful, but the most exciting part about Kat Matthews racing Roth is, to me, getting Laura Philipp there to see if she can beat her. Does that make, like, in my sense, we saw that incredible race those two had in Hamburg last year. That's why I'm like, well, if we get Laura Philipp in and we put them both on a faster course, I guess kind of what I was talking about, having Magnus or Sam or somebody there to push Kristian. I feel like the way that the sport has sort of gone the last couple of years, we have this rivalry between those two. Put them together. That's what I want to see.
Hamburg last year.
Yeah.
Kat raced an 8:05.13, and then she but came in second to Laura Philipp's 8:03.13.
Ran 2:38. Ran a 2:38 marathon.
Yeah. So, like you say, Laura then went on to win Roth after that Hamburg battle. And if Kat's going to be announcing she's racing Roth this year, hopefully that will draw Laura in as well to make that back, because those two fight duking it out. They do make racing fun to watch.
Similarly, then, I suppose, to what we just spoke about with Kristian. Look, firstly, I think we're going to see a woman go 800. Like, there'll be a sub 8 hour women's Ironman in Roth this year, I believe. But I've said that. I think I've said that for the last 4 years or something. But similarly, who are the other athletes besides Laura that you'd like to see there? Like, who are the ones that you think you put into that situation that are going to not necessarily just do well in Roth, but make the race that we're going to see Kat and Laura have more, like, so athletes, I suppose, that are a similar style or will complement their style of racing. So we know that, Kat's swim is going to be probably chase pack or front pack behind the lead group. She's going to absolutely power the bike. You're going to have an athlete, Laura Philipp, who's going to just try to latch onto her, stick with her on the bike and drop a faster run. So who are the other athletes you think that you'd add into that could make things, the dynamics more interesting or entertaining?
Solveig Lovsek, I'd love to see her out there racing it. I think she's shown what she's capable of, and I think her addition to that race would be spectacular. Who else? Who do you think? I'm throwing it back to you.
Similar to what I was talking about, Magnus, Taylor Knibb. Just because I think you're going to have
Taylor Knibb's a good shout.
I just think, again, that's incredible swim, front pack, lead pack swim, fucking bike ride like a demon, and then she's not as strong. So again, in my head, what I'd love to see happen is you have Knibb ahead off the bike, and you've got Kat and Laura chasing her down, all three of them going for that sub 8. I think that would be so exciting, like goosebump sort of levels of excitement.
Yeah. Throw in Lucy Charles-Barclay on a comeback from her recent surgery, and you've got yourself some gold there.
I'd love it. I don't know why. And again, I just don't think we're ever going to see Lucy. Yeah, like Lucy just seems to, which is like just doing her own thing, and she just sort of drops in and does the occasional. But it's like all the rivalry hype sort of stuff we have developing with basically Kat and everyone, because Kat races so much more than everybody. Lucy really does sort of feel a bit removed from it. But I mean, I'd also, the other one, just dream, probably not going to happen, but would love it if it did, would be George Taylor Brown. I want to see George. She was there last year supporting Vince, and I'd love to see her go back and be like, yeah, I want to have a crack at this and do it with those women.
That would be cool. I mean, I'm getting the impression she's really liking the long distance racing.
Oh,
she's vibing with it, and that is something I'm really pleased to see, because I think with an athlete like her, it could have gone either way. If she wasn't enjoying it, she wouldn't have done it. I don't think she's committed to like, well, this is what I do for the rest of my life. I think she's quite an open-minded person to where, and she's going to be driven by what she enjoys, because she's got that opportunity. Like, not a huge amount of athletes have that opportunity, but she does, I think. The way she's placed in the sport, and for her to be enjoying the long course racing is a great thing to see, because it means that it makes it more likely that we're going to see her doing it for longer and going and trying these things. So think there's a chance we will see her at Roth. Maybe not this year, but at some point.
Well, I think again, I spoke with her about this last year, and you're exactly right. She was saying how much she enjoyed it, but the thing she was saying she was surprised how much she enjoyed was the access, or the, she said you do these WTCS races, there's a few people, but it's not the same way. You're at an Ironman, and everybody comes up and has photos and says hello, and like it's that access to everyone, and then actually seeing them after you finish your race to see them still out there. She said she loved that, and I think Ross is such a good example of that. I know the goal, at least it was when I spoke with her goal was to get to 70.3 worlds this year, which excites me. But yeah, I just think, man, that's that sort of athlete in my head is the drop those athletes. Probably not like an athlete like Tamara Jewett, who we saw win Wanaka over the weekend, just because she's always going to be coming from behind. And I think we're going to have Kat and Laura fill that sort of, not that Kat's going to be behind on the bike, she's so good, but I don't necessarily want people coming from behind. I'd rather have people up the road from Kat and Laura that they're chasing down. And I think that, or yeah, someone with them. So that's sort of in my head where I'm thinking of. But I think Roth do such a good job of. It's almost like what I've spoken about in the past, where you don't just pick the best athletes, you pick the athletes that are going to complement each other the best. I think Roth does a very good job of finding athletes that when you actually line them up with each other, it creates a really interesting dynamic. And it's probably because Belinda knows the sport so well. Belinda is such a, Belinda embarrasses me sometimes about how geeky she is about triathlon. And it shows when she sources these athletes to race. So Roth's looking good this year, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be banging. It's going to be banging, mate. It really is. And it's always a good race to watch as well. And Challenge Roth, it's not owned by the T100. Standalone.
Do you reckon it'll still be called Challenge forever? Or like again, let's just speculate. If Challenge family does decide they're going to become T100 / T50 / whatever that branding is, or TC Challenge 100 or whatever, do you think that Roth, while independently owned, will remain Challenge Roth? Or do you think it'll just be Roth something? Or because you go to the race and a lot of the finisher gear isn't actually Challenge branded. It's like Roth Triathlon or Roth whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you think they might lose that branding?
Yeah, they might do. They might do. I would, if I was them. I would be like Roth Triathlon or something like that to disassociate, decouple myself, if I could.
The thing is, I feel like Challenge Roth is so, like, it does feel so iconic, that pairing. Like, I think that Challenge Roth is what gives other challenge races their status, if that makes sense. Like, it's the association with Roth that makes, when you see the Challenge brand, like, oh.
Yeah. It's not going to be that though anymore, is it?
No.
It's going to be like T whatever.
TC 27.6, and yeah, I don't know. For now, at least it's the same, but it will not be the same. I mean, again, just speaking on another thing, Xbox, which have gone out and bought like all the biggest video game companies in the world, are apparently now starting to shut down Xbox. And I'm just like, what's going to happen with those big video game companies? And it's like, yeah, that's what's going to probably at some point happen with Challenge. We're going to see, yeah, it's all good, blah, blah, blah. And then other races are just going to die. We don't want that one anymore. We're not going to follow that one. And those races are just going to fizzle out. I hope, though, that there's a new brand that comes in to fill that gap, mate. So maybe if we lose Challenge, it'll be like, I don't know, Challenger or something. Somebody comes in and just does a different version. But that's what we want. We need more brands in the sports. If anybody is an entrepreneur listening, or has a friend who's got a 9 figures in their bank account, please start another race series. It would be fantastic. So cool. What should we talk about next, Jimbo? Do you want to stay on Challenge?
Yeah, I think we better talk about the Challenge Wanaka results and how that played out. You called the men's winner, didn't you?
I called the men's podium, mate, and I did call the winner. And
I called the women's winner.
Did you? Well done.
I think so. I think I said Tamara Jewett would do it.
I think you did, actually. I picked Lucy Byram, who I don't think actually started in the end. But no, do you have the results there?
I do. On the men's race, Jack Moody took it out with 3:51.23, ahead of Mike Phillips, 3:54.11, ahead of Frederick Funk, 3:54.37. In the women's side, Tamara Jewett won it in 4:29.39, Rebecca Clark, 4:30.43, and Gabrielle Lunkas in 4:30.46.
So obviously, well, I always say obviously trying to follow this race on the socials of Challenge because Mike was racing, and there's this young pro, and I cannot remember his name off the top of my head, but he did Tauranga half a couple of weeks ago and he won it. And then he was off the front of the swim bike so bad at this race. I was like, Jesus, like maybe Tauranga wasn't an aberration. Maybe this kid's got it. And then on the run, sort of seen Mike bring that gap down. I'm thinking, oh, well, guess Mike, maybe he's going to get this. And then fucking out of nowhere, Jack Moody's just at the front of the race. It was so bizarre for me to, because Jack sort of I didn't really pay any or notice Jack at all in anything that I was seeing. And then next minute, he's at the front of the race and then he wins it. Jack's won it three times now, I think.
Ivan Abeli, wasn't it?
That's him. That's him.
New Zealander who got out of the water in 23:38. And then they disappeared. He's 22 years old and he disappeared off the front on the bike. He completed the bike in 2:07.38 and he had the lead into T2 as Mike Phillips and Fred Funk chased him down. But those two started applying pressure. But then it was like you say, it was Moody that won it on the run, basically, didn't he? He like I said, he crossed the finish line in 3:51.23 and his run was 1:14.22 ahead of Mike's 1:19.03 and Frederick's 1:19.07.
So 5 minutes.
He put some clean air into them on that run.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very good middle distance runner. And again, people listen to these times going, oh, that's a bit slow. This is not an easy course. This is not like this is a tough, challenging, rough conditions, hilly course. In a beautiful part of the world.
And bad road conditions as well. I mean, the fact that, the fastest pro bike was only 10 minutes faster than my best 70.3 bike time tells you something about the hills and the road conditions that they were facing compared to my fastest bike time on a pan flat course in the Middle East.
Exactly. But yeah, like I said, really happy to see Jack. I know that Mike, fully preparing for New Zealand, was back out on the bike that afternoon, was running the next day. It was just a sort of go through the motions. So really happy for Mike. Same with Fred Funk. I was a bit surprised. I probably would have expected Fred to do a little bit better, but probably similar to Mike. He's there to prepare for Ironman New Zealand. Not going to go absolutely balls to the wall for Challenge Wanaka. Women's race, Tamara Jewett came from, I think, quite far back on the run. Do you have the run splits there?
I do, yeah. So Rebecca Clark led out of the swim with Daniela Donaldson and Gabrielle Lunkas close behind. But it was Jewett she began the run in 5th, and she was a bit sick during race week. But she was 5th at the start of the run and started just closing gaps and making her way through the field. Like I said, her overall was 4:29.39. Her run was 1:21.26 compared to Rebecca Clark's 1:32.30 and Gabrielle's 1:28.27.
Yeah,
so
okay.
she put even more clear air into her compatriots than Jack Moody did his. She really did dominate that run course. When you're starting in 5th, you've got to put something special out there.
I'm friends with Rebecca Clark, and I was so happy to see Beck finish second. It was almost a sprint finish for second and third, so it was really close racing apart from the winners. But yeah, Tamara Jewett, good to see her back winning because, as I said last week, she sort of has just gone MIA the last 12 to 18 months. And yeah, so I'm happy to see her back at the front. From everything I've ever heard about her, she's an extremely wonderful human. And yeah, very happy to see. Great race. I love Challenge Wanaka. I think it's such a good event for the sport. I love seeing it this year where we're starting to get a few more names on that start list because it deserves it. And yeah, if you're a pro who is thinking about starting, again, if you're European, get out of the Northern Hemisphere for winter, come down under It's pretty good down here. The weather's hot as balls, and you can go do an incredible race in Wanaka, which me and James will both tell you is truly one of the most impressive parts of the world. So do it.
Yeah, really is. Really is. Where are we going next?
Where do you want to go next? Do you want to talk about the patron saint of the podcast, or?
I think before we do that, we need to have a chat about, this is probably the last time we're going to mention this specific deal, but our partner for the podcast, Hoob, are still offering their fastest wetsuit in the world, tested with their own drag measurement system. The same technology, as I've mentioned before, back-to-back 70.3 World Championship wins with Yellow Games. And they're pairing that wetsuit with the sub-7 tri-suit, the same suit you developed specifically for those championship performance. And they're creating a premium bundle worth £2,200, but the full package is available for just £999. And as you're a listener of this podcast, you can use our 10% off code of Talking Triathlon 10, capital T, or the rest all lowercase, the 10 using numerals, to get an extra 10% off. So that is a wetsuit worth £800, a tri-suit worth £1,300. You're getting elite level performance for £999 minus 10%. If you're chasing speed, it's got to be Hoob. It's a hell of a package, a hell of an offer, and they're only doing a run of 100. Each one to be numbered, so you get your own little number of where it came out on the processing. And I think it's a hell of a bundle to start the year with.
It's a really good way, and again, we've said this I think every week discussing Hoob, having dealt with them not as an amateur but in our capacities as people who work in the sport. Every time I've had to deal with Hoob, I'm always blown away by the professionalism. So like a lot of other clothing companies, for example, will have their stuff made. Not all, like I know there's like Surpass and stuff also have their own factory, but like a lot will send it to a factory in China or somewhere to get made. Hoob make their stuff locally. I've had Hoob make a tri-suit for athletes in days, like literally from design confirmed to done days. And that's kind of yes, we've had that happen, but we've also had times where we've had massive problems trying to source stuff from sponsors that we work with elsewhere, and they can't get it. And Hoob have stepped in and said, "We'll make it for you, and we'll put other people's logos on it. No problem." So, that's the kind of relationship you get with these people. Yeah, and again, I know that a lot of people will say that when they've been in Derby, they swing by, Dean will have a drink with you or whatever, like go and have a chat. I really, really emphasize this. This is a brand that deserves the support of the triathlon community. Triathlon is better with Hoob in it. What a great offer for our listeners. Everybody should be looking for new equipment for the new year. Don't be using your skanky old 3-year-old tri-suit anymore. Save some time. Train less. Buy more. I mean, the triathlon approach, let's just spend more money and train less. What could go wrong? But in this case, actually, we'll make you go faster. So, yep, that's it. Definitely get on it. Yeah, hoobdesign.net.com. It'll be in the show notes. Yeah. It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah. So now where are we going to go?
To the patron saint of the podcast, mate.
We're going to talk about Lionel Sanders. He's not racing Oceanside, mate.
And I hate that he isn't.
Yeah, same. So he's going to be at 70.3 Dallas, Ironman Texas, Ironman 70.3 Pennsylvania Happy Valley, which is a stupid name for an Ironman. Ironman Lake Placid, and then Kona. That's his plan. Look,
no offense, but some of those American races have the stupidest fucking names I've ever heard. You know how many races there have been in America that I thought were overseas? Like there's so many of these events like La Quinta and what's the other one? God, I'm having a blank. They've got all these stupid names and you're just like, oh, whereabouts in Europe is that? It's like, oh, it's in America. And you're like, what? Happy Valley and
Dallas, Little Elm, all of this. I don't know.
Little Debbie, the Little Debbie 70.3 and...
Yeah. Got to make it feel exotic, haven't they? They don't travel very much. I think only 2% of the country's got a passport. So, they've got to make it feel exotic.
Trevor Foley,
but anyway,
get on the plane, go to Roth. Lionel Sanders get on a plane and go to Roth. That's who I want to see race Roth with Kristian. Get Lionel Sanders to Roth. That's what I want to see.
That would be cool, but
no
maybe
Oceanside.
5 years ago. No Oceanside for Lionel Sanders. He put out a YouTube video recently where he goes through it all. Go and
Tell me,
listen.
give me detail, James.
Go
Tell me all
listen to
about
that
his YouTube video.
so I don't have to. I started watching it at the advice of a friend of mine, and I stopped watching it at the advice of my mental health.
Oh, that makes me chuckle. Yeah, so no Oceanside for Lionel, which is, I think you just assume he's going to be there, right? Now, is it, why not? Is it because it doesn't suit his season? He's not quite ready? Is it that he doesn't think he can win? Is it that he doesn't beat the Norwegians? Or what do you think is the reason for this?
I just think, I think he's probably just trying to really, mate, fuck knows. Who knows? I'm going to put coherent thoughts into his head now because I'm going to think about it like I would, and they're not going to be right. Who knows? Maybe maybe he came out of his hole and saw his shadow, so he went back in again.
No, I know the answer. I know what the answer is. He asked his Magic 8 Ball. He shook it. The Magic 8 Ball said no, and he's like, Magic 8 Ball said I can't do Oceanside. I'm not doing Oceanside. No, he asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, nah, not likely. I love the thought that he's like, hey, ChatGPT, I want to race Oceanside. I've won it 1,000 times, but this year you got Kristian, Gustav, Casper, blah, blah, blah race. And do you think I should go race? And ChatGPT's like, no.
Yeah. It's standard ChatGPT style. Oh, that's so you. This is exactly what I expect from you, not to race Oceanside.
No, I love the thought that, you know how ChatGPT is always super positive. It's like, that's a great idea. In fact, you're correct. Where this one's like, absolutely not. You should not. Lionel, that would be a bad decision. Do not do it. Actually do. He's like, what? What's happening? Normally you're so nice to me. Lionel, we love you. No, I don't know. If it suits him, he obviously knows he did have that really bad injury last year. So I think he's probably playing it a bit safe. I'd love to see him in Oceanside. I'd love to see him race. I actually wish Lionel raced every race. Much like we've seen Cam Worth on every single start list in 2025. I would personally love to see Lionel on every single start list in 2026 and actually race as many of them as possible. But
yeah, I mean, he did mention in the video that we mentioned last week that he's not going to be in the sport forever and this could be his last year and all of this. And I tend to agree with you. I think the way he talks about the sport and the way he talks about how, I mean, if I'm honest, we take the piss a lot out of the way he is, but one of the things I've really got a lot of respect for him about one part of him that I've got a huge amount of respect for is the battle he had pre-triathlon and how he used the sport to help him forge a path for his own mental health and for his own health and his own well-being. And he's found this thing in life that anchors him so much. The way he talks about that journey is probably the most it's the most honest and real that I hear him when he speaks. So I don't see him stepping away from that sensation and that feeling anytime soon, because I think it really does help anchor him.
we've seen in the last year a lot of.
He'll probably announce he's retiring tomorrow after I release the podcast, just because it's Lionel, isn't it?
No, I think that the universe is gonna send our wishes out to him. He's gonna listen. But similar, like what I was gonna say, I think we've seen the last year a lot of pros at the end of last year just came out and retired. Yep, actually this is gonna be my last race. Yep, I've decided to step down. Blah, 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 blah. I absolutely do not want that for Lionel Sanders. What I want to see when, and hopefully a long time from now, Lionel does decide to hang up his tri-suit, I'd love to see him do what Sebastian Kienle did. The final year tour where he just goes and does all of those. I honestly think the
races he wants to do.
100%. I think that would be the best send out for Lionel Sanders, because the other thing, right, is he is the most popular triathlete in the world. and he doesn't really travel to a lot of parts of the world, or he hasn't in the past. So you get him to race every continent, go to do Ironman New Zealand, or do
Yeah.
Challenge Wanaka, or
Ironman New
do,
Zealand, Challenge Roth, Alpe
yeah.
d'Huez,
Can you
all of
imagine?
those things. And then
I'd
just
go to a
like
rest team race.
throw in Norseman as well, because I just love to see him go and suffer like a dog at Norseman.
I had a call last week with there's an ultra movie being made, and I was on a call with the director last week, and because it's about Badwater, and while we were talking about it, it still made me chuckle thinking about how Lionel Sanders decided during the pandemic he might do Badwater, and the race director's like, "No, Lionel, you'll die. Like you'll actually die, mate. You can't do this." It's one of my favorite Lionel Sanders stories ever, where he's just like, "I'll just have a go. Like, what could go wrong? I'll just grip my way through 160 miles through the hottest place on earth." And he's like, "Absolutely not, mate. No." But yeah, I'd love to see him like genuinely do that tour. Do a couple of races in parts of the world that he's not been before. Let the fans see him, race with him. I think that would be absolutely exceptional. But again, I hope that is not for quite some time, because as Sean Green, who is the I guess the priest or the head of the Church of Lionel Sanders, said to me last week after he saw last week's episode, this would be a much more boring podcast if we didn't have Lionel Sanders to discuss, and he's not wrong.
Oh, there are weeks like this where the news is scarce, and we just throw in a Lionel Sanders 15 minutes, and it helps pad things out. We did a whole episode about Lionel Sanders over our Christmas break. One of our Patreon episodes was all about Lionel Sanders. So he's the athlete that is like, if they say like put a gun to your head, just talk for 20 minutes or whatever. Give me Lionel Sanders, and I could do a whole episode of this just talking about Lionel Sanders, I think, for an hour. And I think it would be... I'd like to do an episode where it's me, you, Lionel Sanders, and a sports therapist. I think that would be a hell of an episode.
No, I think the episode would be we chat with him, and then afterwards we see the therapist. Because I think the thing, like, so people, we had an interview lined up with Lionel Sanders a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
we were so close. It was so close.
I turned up for it, and he didn't.
I know. I think he trolled us. I think that was all a big troll. But we even bought a special microphone for you, like the whole thing. That's One day we will get to chat with Lionel Sanders, maybe when he has retired. But yes, I would, man, yeah. I'd love, in my other podcast, Endurers, I'd love to have a chat with him. But I think, again, I would probably need a bit of time to recover afterwards. Yeah.
You know who having in the sport, who having Lionel in the sport is better than having in the sport?
Who?
Celebrities.
That's a very... I really appreciate it. You absolutely fumbled it, but it was a good attempt at a...
I tried.
Have you got the post? Because this happened. This was shared in our WhatsApp group literally just as we were hitting record,
and it's being discussed now in the WhatsApp group. I have just put a note in there saying we are about to discuss this recording the podcast, because they are still chatting away about it. So the T100, the PTO have announced we're excited to announce the Professional Triathletes Organization has appointed Blueprints X to support the delivery of celebrity participants across key races in their global event calendar. As the latest addition to our marketing client roster, we'll be collaborating with the PTO to identify, secure, and manage high-profile celebrity appearances that elevate the profile of its flagship races worldwide, creating standout storytelling moments and driving global reach across the sport. From elite athletes to influential personalities, our team will work strategically across the calendar to help amplify the PTO events and enhance race week experiences around the world. Brilliant. I look. I understand they want to bring eyes to the sport, and I understand that celebrity people with followings and influential people have helped bring those eyes to the sport. I just think I would probably, if I was going to do this, and this is all about right now, right about what's happening right now at this point in human history, I would not be announcing this. I would just have celebrities at my races and not be about announcing a partnership with a company that's going to help bring them in. Because I think, and this is specific to right now, as I just said, I don't think right now celebrity, influential, powerful people are particularly the flavor of the moment. I think society's a bit pissed at the moment with celebrity, powerful, rich people, and I just don't think it's particularly ideal.
Just that post is from a person who works for Blueprints. It's not the PTO coming out and.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know. I would just have made the agreement and
But
kept on.
I just want to ask you a few questions.
All right, here we go.
What does PTO stand for?
I've never been to the island.
Well, okay, good. What does it's hard to know. I thought I saw your name in some of those redacted files. What does PTO stand for?
Professional Triathletes Organization.
You, in your capacity professionally in the sport, who do you work with?
I work with professional triathletes.
And what would you say currently?
Andrew Turner.
Yeah, and Andy Horse. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges facing professional triathletes making sponsorship money at the moment?
Influencers.
So do you think it seems a bit odd that the professional triathletes organization is now working with the biggest fucking challenge facing professional triathletes? Sort of seems a little inconsistent or perplexing to me. A little bit, just a little.
Yeah, there is. It's slightly counterintuitive, I would say, is the way I would look at it. Yeah, I just think a much quieter agreement could have been made, because
I know why this has happened. I know why this has happened, actually, and it's a good way to bring in another piece of triathlon news, actually. Do you know why the PTO has come out and made this announcement? Because Ironman have banned the use of the the glasses that you can film on. So all the influencers have to go and they're going to have to go to the tier 100. I reckon Ironman have been like, we're not allowing this, it's dangerous. And PTO are like, fuck, so all the people that want to film their races and put on social media, oh yeah, come to us. We'll take you. We'll take you.
So the Meta glasses, I've got a pair of those. I quite like them. They're good. I use them more for music than filming because I just love being able to change the song with my voice as I run along. They are banned in the pro side of the sport, obviously. Are they banned in the age group as well?
No, everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not really news, is it? I mean, I thought headphones and stuff were already banned.
I think it's more the camera thing because so many people. But
I know, but the fact that the headphones means in my head they're automatically banned.
I hadn't thought of it from that. I've honestly, the only knowledge I have of the glasses is seeing people use the glasses. I don't know how they work. I had one incident once where I was at a race and I went up to talk to a kid and I thought I was having a conversation with him and it turned out he was on a phone call on the glasses and he wasn't talking to me. That was pretty embarrassing. But back to this influencer thing. I know that on a bonus episode over Christmas, I spoke about my experience at the Singapore Half Marathon where, you know, you get there an hour early, you do all the warm up, you sort of musty your way as close to the front as you can. And about 10 minutes before we started, they let out the influencer wave. And I had a very choice name for what I called that wave. For people who are maybe not Australian, the word rhymes with runt. And I hate this. I hate this. We saw what happened with Tommy Fury last year when he raced the T100 race and that stupid shot of him slapping his feet down the fucking finish line. It turns out he didn't even do the whole bike course. And like, I do not like this. I just think that we have a race series that is actively taking money out of the pro side of the sport, less per races. They say more prize money, but it's, I think with less contracts and stuff, I just think the actual investment in pros is less. I'm guessing more of it to go to this. I hate it. I really just think it's so weird that this is coming. If it was Ironman, I could at least understand it, right? Ironman are for profit, wear their heart on their sleeve. We're not here for the pros. We're here we're here for us compared to they need to change their name. They can't keep referring themselves to the PTO if this is the sort of stuff they're doing, because they'll probably say that by having this, it's actually going to make the sport more commercial and have more opportunities for the pros. I disagree, because literally influencers are the reason sponsorship is decreasing. The social media requirements on pro athlete contracts and stuff these days is getting out of hand. Like I am literally having an argument on a discussion, a heated discussion with a brand at the moment, because they're saying that they can get more reach from an influencer than they can from the pro athlete they sponsor. And I hate this. But that's also just because, yeah.
God, I hope it. I mean, we did this to death a few times, but I hope it goes full. I hope it fizzles out, because reach is one thing, but authenticity is another. And what my argument to these brands when I have this conversation is, reach isn't everything, because reach without authenticity doesn't sell a story.
I think, like, I look at some of the, how I've always seen it is, yes, the authenticity is important, but so is the legitimacy. And I don't see many influencers out there that grant that legitimacy. Like, you've got these, and look, some of the stories and some of the things these influencers do are fantastic. But if you're trying to sell the fastest bike or the fastest wetsuit or the fastest shoe, or, this thing makes you go X, Y, Z faster, you can't then be relying on people that have 2 million followers but go around the course in 12 minutes or 12 hours. Like, 12 minutes would be great. But I just think that there is a huge disconnect. And I feel like I've said it a lot. They all think they need an influencer. They don't necessarily know why. It's like, oh, eyeballs. I feel like personally, the thing I'm so fucking sick to death of is my social media being like ads. It's just like everything's a fucking ad now. Every single person is trying to be an influencer. I hate that when you watch, and I hate that it's not even just the influence, it's the impact this stuff is having on the pros. I spoke about Sabani Yas, where you see the athletes coming out of the water going on to T1, and you've got fucking 12 people with cameras chasing their fucking pro with a camera. I'm sick of it. And all the way that it is forcing the pro triathletes to suddenly become a thing. The number of these bullshit inquiries I have to deal with there, it's like, hi, we're from fucking XYZ, whatever. We'd love to give you a free thing to do it. It's like, fuck off. And every time you're like, no, like, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of what it's doing to the sport. And this is not good. This is not a good thing.
I'm with you. But
I mean, the stupid thing, like, do you even know that? Because I'm assuming that, like, you are probably one of the most influential people in the sport. Like, are they going to contact you? Are they going to get you at their races? Like, is that part of the contract?
I mean, yeah, but we can't talk about that, because that is it's behind the scenes contract. I tend to do my work in the shadows, man.
This is true. Well, look, yeah, fuck it. Fuck them. I don't want it. I don't want to see. Like, with the except, like, someone like Gordon Ramsay, I'm fucking all for. But that's because he's he's a triathlete. He's a celebrity who does triathlon.
Yeah, or the time that Matthew McConaughey did the triathlon in Miami. That kind of shit is interesting. Influencers, though, are just.
Isn't there the guy who does all the marathons, but he has a guy on a bike filming him and he keeps getting disqualified?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that pissed me right off.
Maybe that's what we need to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, even when I was doing Singapore marathon, half marathon, I was having a shocker. But this guy kept passing me, and then he pulled out his camera and start filming and slow down. And I think after like the 8th time this happened, we're probably like 4K from the finish. I said, mate, do you want me to? I'll just run and hold the phone for you if you like, because it's killing my life. You keep passing me slow down, because you're filming all the time. Like, it's just, yeah. I'm saying like that old guy's like, I've done this sport since back in my day. Nobody had a fucking phone out.
I know. And the sport evolves and all that. But yeah.
Have you seen there's an account on, so it's called Influencers in the Wild, and it's people filming influencers doing the shit that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's fucking so cringy, man. The amount of secondhand embarrassment I get from that stuff is like, what are Disney adults?
I can't do it. I have tried. I mean, I've tried for us. I tried to be at races for us and, do a little live video or a live Instagram for us. And I struggle like fuck, man, talking to my phone in public.
Yeah.
But then I can talk on the phone in public, but But doing that whole thing, no, that's not for me.
I used to use it a lot. I used to have a good time with it. I used to have a lot of fun, but it's just everything now is like, you need to do this. And they dictate to you. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. We're done. Jimbo, mate, if people want to find out more about Talking Triathlon, tell me, where do they need to go?
If you want to support the show, jump on at patreon.com/talking triathlon. If you want to follow Tim, is at T14 on Instagram. I'm at bale.james85 on Instagram. We're also at Talking Triathlon.
We should have left that out this week.
Yeah.
Don't follow us. Unfollow us.
If you want to join the Patreon group, you get access to the monthly bonus episodes in the social group. Plus, we'll put you in the WhatsApp group, which is actually active right now, talking about the very topic we've just finished talking about. If you're not a member of the Patreon group, though, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. That's where we're most likely to see it. And yeah, that's about it from us.
Last few days, if you sign up for Patreon, all the Patreon money from February will be going towards my Melbourne Marathon fundraiser. So if you want to do that, chuck in $5. You also get access to all the past bonuses. We'll be doing a bonus episode soon as well. The link is in the show notes. Jimbo, any updates on your raffle?
Yeah, I've almost got all of the prizes in. It's going to be live in the first couple of weeks of March. There's some good prizes, man.
Your race is getting close, man.
I know, but it's not.
No. I'm more like Team Jesus Christ. That race is getting close. So
that race
it's exciting.
is getting close. Yeah. I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to the day.
I'm looking forward. I'm definitely going to be. I want those Lucy Charles shoes, man. So I'm definitely going to be. I'm going to enter and be like, James, make sure I win. Make sure I win one of those shoes.
I will send you a pair of Crocs from the UK with Lucy Charles written on them in biro.
That doesn't sound very appealing to me. I'm a Birkenstock man now. Guys, thank you so much for listening. James, thank you as always. We'll be back next week. Talk to you later.
Cheerio.